Have you ever wondered why 90% of the world's population hold only 10% of the wealth, while the remaining 10% control the other 90%? The answer isn't luck. It isn't about where you started. The real answer lies in how you define two simple words, hard and easy. Let me tell you a raw, uncomfortable truth. Most of the thoughts running through the mind right now are wrong. We live in an age where human perception is distorted by the crowd. We look at the mountain and complain, it's too high, too hard to climb. We hear someone speak fluent English and say, wow, learning a language is impossible. We watch an entrepreneur managing thousands of employees and we shudder. Being a boss must be so stressful, too hard. But pause for just 1 second. Look at a child holding chopstick for the first time. For you, picking up a piece of food is effortless, as natural as breathing. But for a Westerner, or even that child, chopsticks feel like torture, as difficult as you trying to pilot a spaceship. So, where's the real problem? The chopstick haven't changed. The piece of food hasn't changed. The physical difficulty of the action hasn't changed. The only thing that is different is the state of the mind and the body. Welcome to the truth society doesn't want you to know, the real nature of hard and easy. In behavior psychology, there is no absolute hard or easy. There is only familiar and unfamiliar. When you say, this is too hard, what the brain is actually signaling is, boss, the neural network for this action is not built yet, or not developed enough. It feels strange, it feels unsafe, and it drains too much energy. The human body is a biological machine designed to save energy. This survival mechanism has existed since ancient times. Anything new demands intense focus, burns a lot of calories, and triggers stress. And to protect you from spending that energy, your brain labels the task as hard and tries to convince you to quit. On the other hand, the things you do every day, scrolling TikTok, oversleeping, snacking, complaining, all get labeled as easy. Why? Because the narrow pathways for the habits are already deeply carved. You can do them without using a single conscious neuron. That's your comfort zone, and unfortunately, the comfort zone is gray dark, where the greatest dreams are buried. The fundamental mistake most people make is believing that the discomfort at the beginning means something is impossible. They confuse unfamiliarity with impossibility. What they don't understand is this. The difficulty you feel when you start learning to write, to code, or to build a business, that feeling is not a signal to stop. It is a sign that your brain is restructuring itself. The drop of instant-noodle society and the collapse of inner strength. We need to face a brutal truth about the modern world. Human beings have never been as psychologically fragile as we are today. Why? Because we are being poisoned by a control of rushing, a control of shortcuts, and cheap dopamine hits. Become a generation addicted to results. Society, especially social media, has created a massive illusion of success. You open the phone and what do you see? 20 years old millionaires, startups that success overnight, boys and girls living flawless luxury lives. The media keeps feeding your mind with messages like success must be fast, happiness must be instant. If you are not rich by 25, you are a failure. And what's the result of all this? We created a generation that has lost the ability to delay gratification. This is a core principle in psychology. Successful people are those who are willing to suffer today to enjoy the rewards 50 years later. But the crowd, they want to plant a tree today and harvest the fruit tomorrow. And if the fruit isn't there by tomorrow, they cut the tree down and look for another seed. This instant noodle mindset kills people focused on the process. They only care about the outcome. They want a great body, but they don't want the painful hours at the gym. They want $1 million business, but not the sleepless nights spent solving crises. They want to speak English effortlessly, but can't tolerate the embarrassment of mispronouncing a word. When all you look at is the result, the journey feels like torture. But when you fall in love with the process, the result becomes just a bonus. Unfortunately, society is teaching you to look down on the process. Another deadly mistake in the way the crowd thinks is to judge themselves using someone else's measuring stick. You care more about praise and criticism than about your actual ability. You fear being labeled stupid when starting something new. Your fear of being laughed at by the crowd is stronger than the fear of being poor and ordinary. You don't dare to start a business because you are afraid failure will make your friend mock you. You don't dare to ask questions in a meeting because you're scared the boss or colleagues will think you are incompetent. You buy things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people you don't even like. We are living in a society of performers. Everyone acting like they are successful, acting like they are happy, while feeling empty inside. You forget your own context. You compare the chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20 and then convince yourself that you are not good enough. This unfair comparison kills your consistency. It makes you jump from one goal to another like a monkey swinging from brand to brand until you finally fall to the ground, exhausted with nothing achieved. The dominance of instinct over the mind, the body, the animal part, loves comfort. It's love lying around. It's love sugar. It's love watching porn. It's love mindless scrolling. That's the biological mechanism that drives instant pleasure. Meanwhile, the mind, the human part, wants growth, discipline, and legacy. But for the most people, the animal always wins. Failures are those who become slaves to their own bodies. You plan to wake up early, that's your rational mind speaking. But your body whispers, stay in bed a little longer, it's warm, and you stay. You plan to read a book, that's your mind again, but your hand automatically opens Facebook or TikTok because your body is craving dopamine and you scroll. They live their entire lives trapped in a biological loop. Eat, sleep, it's great, made, seek entertainment. That is the life of an animal, not a human being with creative potential. They spend a whole lifetime but only live half of it because the moment of true awareness are far too few. Successful people, the true master, are those who use the mind to govern the body. They know how to act their own biology. They understand that the body adapts quickly. If you force your body to run for 30 days straight, it will scream and protest at first. But on day 31, if you don't run, your body will feel uncomfortable. At that point, running has become the easy thing, and sitting still has become the hard part. This rule applies to everything: reading, deep work, strategic thinking. When you turn difficult action into daily habits, you switch your body into automatic success mode. You no longer need to rely on willpower. That is the highest level of discipline. Discipline that feels like there is no discipline at all. The paradox of opportunity. Why you must learn to love your problems. This is the most important part, the part where we flip the entire mindset upside down. And I want you to carve this into your memory. As long as there are difficult tasks, you still have opportunities. As long as there are problems, you still have value. The crowd always prays for a smooth, effortless life. No struggle, no challenges, no problems. But that is a foolish prayer, because if that prayer came true, that could be the end of your career, your growth, and your very purpose. Why? Because the law of supply and demand and the law of human value are brutal, yet completely fair. Money and respect flow toward the people who can solve the hardest problems. Imagine you are sitting in a classroom. The teacher writes a difficult problem on the board. The whole class goes silent. No one knows the answer. If you stand up and you show it, everyone will look at you with admiration. The teacher will remember your name. You become the star. The value is recognized. But if the problem is 1 + 1 = 2, everyone raises their hand. In fact, the teacher doesn't even need to call on anyone. Anyone can answer it. In that moment, whether you raise your hand or not makes no difference at all. Your presence becomes unnecessary and you fade into the crowd. Life works exactly like that classroom. The difficult problems in society, in the company, and in the marketplace are exactly those hard questions on the board. If you choose only do easy work, the 1 + 1 kind of task, then don't be surprised when your salary is low, the position is quick, and you can be replaced at any moment by an intern or even by an AI. Let's take a simple, everyday example, a raw and honest one about love. You like a girl and she's going through problems. Maybe her motorbike broke down, her job is stressing her out, her family is in conflict, her emotions are unstable. What does she need? She needs someone who can fix her bike, or at least someone who has the money to call for a roadside assistant. She needs someone with a mindset to help her navigate her work issues. She needs someone strong enough to be a source of emotion support. Those are her problems. But if you show up, you are just as fragile as she is. You don't know how to fix anything. You are unemployed. You are constantly complaining. And you can solve a single issue. In fact, you bring more problems with you. Then tell me, why would she choose you? But if another man shows up and she solves her problems effortlessly, he turns her chaos into order. He brings clarity and solutions. Then I'm sorry, but your presence becomes meaningless. She won't need you anymore. Relationships at the core are exchange of value, emotional, material, psychological. You only hold a place in someone's life when you are the missing piece that helps solve their problems or fills their gap. All the greatest startups in history were born from the most painful problem. Grab and Uber were created because calling a traditional taxi was difficult, inefficient, and lacked transparency. Zoom were created because remote meetings were complicated and plagued with poor connection. Billion-dollar pharmaceutical companies exist because humans still get sick. If this society were perfect, no traffic jams, no illnesses, no unmet needs, there could be no entrepreneurs, no billionaires. The instability of society is the goldmine of entrepreneur war. And if you're applying for a job, remember this: that company is not hiring you out of charity. They are hiring you because they also have burdens, problem with staffing, problem with revenue, technical issues they can solve on their own. They need you as their antidote. So if you join a company and see everything messy and disorganized, don't complain. That is your chance to create order and rise through the ranks. If you see customers shouting at the company, don't be afraid. That is your opportunity to show your negotiation and calming skills. Wherever there is noise and struggle, there is opportunity. Wherever everything is peaceful and smooth, the market is already saturated, and there is no room for newcomers. The strategy of top performance is this: turn difficulties into competitive advantages. Have you heard the saying, the harder the work, the easier the path. The easier the work, the harder it becomes later. This is elite level thinking. Why are difficult things actually easier? It sounds counterintuitive, but look at it from the perspective of competition. When you do a hard part, like becoming a top expert, starting a business in high-tech, or building iron discipline, the level of competition drops sharply. 90% of people quit the moment they see difficulty. Only a few dare to continue. The ones who remain on that hard path are the most capable. Competing with them makes you better. Collaborating with them takes you further. And because so few people can do the hard things, the rewards, money, recognition, opportunities become incredibly valuable and never too small to be worth the effort. When you choose to do hard things, you are entering a blue ocean. It's quiet there, maybe even a little lonely, but everything in that ocean, every opportunity is yours. So, why are easy things actually hard? Because when you choose the easy path, like a comfortable office job, going to work with an umbrella in the morning and going home with an umbrella at night, scrolling the internet for entertainment, or selling simple, common products online that require no real skill, you face brutal competition. Everyone wants easy work with high pay. Everyone can do these jobs, which means you have millions of competitors and you are easily replaceable. Because if something is easy, anyone can do it. Take a day off today and someone cheaper can replace you tomorrow. That's how you end up living a cramped life, squeezed in a tiny red ocean where thousands of people fight for the same small crumbs. So choosing easy work is actually choosing a very difficult life later on. You will have to compete non-stop, live with the constant fear of being replaced, and accept an average income because the pie has already been divided into tiny pieces. To break out of this mindset, to escape the psychology of the crowd and redefine their own identity, you need a revolution, a real shift in thinking and action, not empty motivational slogan. Here are the concrete steps you must take. First, redefine what difficulty means. You need to reinstall the operating system of the mind. Whenever you face something hard, tell yourself, here it is, the filter. It's difficult because it is designed to eliminate the lazy and the weak. If you can just push past this threshold, you have already outperformed 90% of your competitors. See difficulties as competitive advantage, not a barrier. Learn to love challenges, the same way you love opportunities that can change your life. Second, apply the 90-day rule. Don't judge the feelings of your body in the early stage. Whenever you start a new skill, force yourself to do it continuously for 90 days. No skipping, no excuses. Don't ask yourself whether you like it. Don't ask why you feel tired. Just do it like a machine, and after 90 days, once your neural pathways are formed, then you evaluate again. You will be surprised to see that the thing that once made you sweat and struggle now feels as simple and natural as brushing your teeth. Turn discipline into habit, and let habit carry your life upward. Third, change the skill of selective deadness. Stop seeking approval from people who don't share the same mindset or ambition as you. Why should you feel sad? Because of criticism from someone who has never achieved anything meaningful. And why should you feel excited? Because of shallow compliments from the crowd. Instead, build an internal reference system. Compare yourself today with the version of you yesterday. Did you solve a tougher problem today than you did yesterday? Did you gain more control over the why, instinctive part of your life? Those are questions that truly matter. 4. Look for problems to solve instead of running away from responsibility. Be the one who volunteers for difficult tasks in your company. Stand up and take on the projects that everyone else is ahead at. In life, learn the skill that others are afraid to learn. When you become the person who specializes in solving the impossible case, you become invaluable. You won't need to look for a job. The job will come looking for you. You won't need to chase money. Money will naturally flow toward you as a direct result of the value you create. And 5th, learn to see through time. Poor people often only look to the end of the day because they earn by the day. The middle class look to the end of the month, their monthly salary, but the wealthy, they look at decades, they think long term. Don't let the temptation of sleeping 5 more minutes or scrolling TikTok for 1 more hour fool you. The price for these small indulgences doesn't show up immediately. It accumulates and it comes back to collect its debt at the moment you are weakest, in old age, in sickness, or during a life crisis. Do the things today that the future self will thank you for. Studying is hard, training is hard, starting a business is hard, but these hardships are insurance for your future wealth and freedom. In conclusion, life is fair, but in a grotesque way. If you choose the easy path from the beginning, if you choose comfort, leisure, and avoidance, life will eventually repay you with the hardest consequences: poverty, weakness, dependence, and constant fear. But if you choose the difficult path early on, to discipline, to challenge, to tackle the target problem, life will roll out the red carpet and invite you into an easier future, financial freedom, respect, and the power to control your own destiny. Don't be a sheep in the ground, bleeding at every patch of green grass and panicking at every steep hill. Be the leaf wolf, the one who knows that beyond the rocky climb lies the land with the richest prey. The hard things you do today are the first class ticket for your tomorrow. The problems you solve today will become the challenge in the future. So stop complaining and start solving, because the moment no one needs you to solve anything anymore is the moment the world has already forgotten you exist.